The fresh start feeling that comes with a new year can be a great motivator in terms of our goals and just life in general, but we're 3 months into the year now, and that feeling has certainly worn off. There is a way that we can recapture some of that new year magic though, and that's through resetting. With the new planning method that I'm trying this year, I'm doing quarters rather than the year as a whole. So first 3 months, second 3 months, so on and so forth. But to get that kind of cool, calm and collected feeling for any new quarter, we are implementing Reset Week. Today is Monday, March 25th, so it is the official start of my reset week. So I'm going to use this week to get myself sorted and organized for the quarter ahead to make sure that I kind of hit the ground running, know what's going on, and I can kind of tackle the new quarter in the best way possible. We're thinking resetting my physical space, making sure that everything is in its place, resetting my mental space, making sure that I have decluttered my brain of any thoughts, feelings, anything going on. A physical self reset, making sure that I feel good in my skin moving into the next quarter, and also revamping my organizational spaces, whether they be in my planner or in other spaces in my home. Before that though, in 10 minutes I have a live stream, so I'm gonna go do that first. Even though it's reset week and the plan was to take a little bit of a step back from regular work commitments, this one was for the team with a capital T, so I was making an exception. One of the main tasks for reset day 1 though was actually planning what I wanted to do with my reset. Because I haven't done a reset of this style before, I've done weekly resets where it's one day at the end of the week, or yearly resets which typically do happen across a week or maybe even more. Because this one is just kind of like a quarterly reset or a week-long reset process for the new quarter, I needed to get clear on what I actually wanted to do. Ideally, this would have been done before coming into reset week, but because it's my first one, I didn't really have a solid idea of it. So I spent most of day 1 actually just planning out what I wanted this to involve. I made this kind of its own little self-care task by hanging out with some cool people in our JashiiCorrin community server. That one's on Discord, it's linked in the description box. If you'd like to join us, we would love to have you, but we were all just hanging out together and doing some work in our journals. The way this layout works though is that each of the sections are dedicated to one area of the reset process. The one right under the header is just a general list of the areas, and the one that I filled out first at the bottom of the right hand page, that one is for any general happenings throughout the week, whether they be reset related or otherwise. Each of the other sections though has a specific function. So for instance, all of the steps for my physical self reset, all of the steps for my home environment reset. I wanted to have all of these checklists on the same spread so that they were really easy to reference, and initially my idea was to put all of my daily logging, for reset week in particular, after this page, but then I accidentally put my quarter 2 setup right after it, so I didn't actually have any space for those. It was an easy fix though, I just included those daily logs in my cycle 3 space, or what effectively would have been my March setup. While day 1 was very much about planning the reset and getting myself kind of prepared for doing it, day 2 would ideally be getting into the reset. In an ideal scenario, I would have no work hanging over to reset week, and technically speaking, I did have the video that I was going to be putting out this week prepared, but then I decided I wanted to put out another one, and I also have an Artranola blog post to write. So today is actually going to be dedicated to getting all of that work finished so that the rest of the week can just be spent resetting. Let's see if I can actually get all of that done today though. So fingers crossed. When it comes to doing the Artranola blog posts, these have a lot of different components to them, but the easiest one I find is always the video. So I decided to start there. The blog post video is now exporting, which is at least one thing done, but I still have to write the blog post, make a printable, do a reel, and then upload everything. So that's for just the blog post. And then there's that video that I wanted to do for myself. That one shouldn't take me too much time. It's just that I know that writing takes me a long time. So the blog post itself is probably going to take me a while. This is also the camera that I use both for reels and for regular videos, and it's currently in the orientation for regular videos, so it points down onto my desk, but to do the reels I have to rotate it, and I don't really want to rotate it when I still want to film a horizontal video. So it's like I kind of have to do that first before I make the blog post reel, so As said, ideally I would have had all of this sorted before reset week started, it just didn't turn out that way. So just dedicating this entire day to getting those things done, trying to maintain focus on the tasks at hand, so that then tomorrow it is very much just reset stuff. Well, the writing part is finished now, and I made a list of the pictures that I need to organize for the blog post. So beyond that, it is just make the pictures, organize the upload of the printable, then upload all of that to the actual blog post hosting space. And once all of that is organized, then I can do my personal video and the reel for Archer and Olive. And it's currently 3 p.m. So I'm kind of running out of daylight hours. Not that it really matters because it's not like I'm using daylight right now anyway. But I did get up kind of late today because I've decided that throughout reset week, I am just prioritizing my sleep as well. Kind of trying to catch up on a bit of a sleep deficit that I probably have. So I didn't really get into the day until like 11 a.m. Very glad that because I work for myself, I can do a schedule like that. For now, I should probably go have something to eat because that is also self-care that I should be prioritizing. It is 10 past 9 and we are close to finish with editing this video. Just got a little clip list, so I need to film that and then lay it over the top, kind of like B-roll. Then it can be exported, uploaded, all of the things, and then that work is done. Still haven't made the reel though. Not sure if I'm gonna do it today. We'll see how long the clippage takes me. The video is exporting. It is only 9:30, so I'm going to make that reel. I am very pleased with the fact that all of the work had actually gotten done today. Okay, like don't count your chickens because we still have to make the reel, but that one should be easy. Got it done, got distracted. Now it's time for bed. And then tomorrow, reset. And then of course I had the worst sleep ever, so it's kind of killed my buzz just a little bit, but I'm hoping once Vogel gets out of the gosh dang shower, I will be able to kind of like rebuild a little bit of that enthusiasm. I think that just getting into it and actually kind of like starting the resetting process is going to be really helpful. I mean, in general, but also for kind of like building up my mood again. The plan for today in terms of resetting is very much just organizing my journal in terms of my kind of quarterly setup stuff and also my work content calendar. I've already set up the general layouts. We already have a setup video on the channel, but I need to get in and actually populate them so I know what's going on. The work-related stuff will be in there too, but it'll also go in my Notion calendar because I like being able to move things around and stuff and see it in that kind of long-term picture. But first, I need Vogel to get out of the shower. I decided to make my Q2 migration process a video for the team with a capital T, which is why I'm filming it here. But effectively, this step was just making sure that I go through all of those Q2 pages and populate them in full. Or at least as fully as I can populate them at this point in the piece. That included going through things like the quarterly overview and making sure that all of my events were captured, considering my work schedule pages and making sure that everything was in those as well, and really just making sure that everything was set up so that I can hit the ground running come April 1st. If you did want to see that exclusive video and any of the other previous exclusive videos we've had, then you can join the team with a capital T. We have details about that one in the description box as well. Oh my gosh, it feels so good to have these actually populated now. I feel a lot more organized because of it. And funnily enough, that's the point of reset week. So with Q2 actually populated, I'm actually going to head to Rachel's house, take a little pause on reset. So it's Wednesday, Bujo Wednesday's happening, but because Rachel recently had her baby, it means that we get to do Bujo Wednesday a little bit earlier in the day, which is always great. We're gonna go make soup. And Noah's provided sustenance. While I was going to organize my kind of work schedule for the next quarter today, didn't happen. Ended up having way too much fun with my friends, which is, oh no, what a sad problem to have. So that's a tomorrow me problem. Good night. Prioritizing sleep because rest is important for reset week, but now as sleep is over, in terms of our reset tasks for today, it is Thursday, so we are going to be doing my physical self reset, like physical self-care, and my work reset from yesterday because I didn't get that one done, and also my home reset. I'm thinking that with the time I have today, I should be able to get all three of those, but the first thing that we are going to start with is my everything shower. If you know, you know. I'm so looking forward to my everything shower. If you don't know what an everything shower is, it's effectively just where you take care of everything. Like deep hair scrub, deep conditioning, doing a full body scrub, sometimes like a face mask or whatever else. It's like the full package of showers. By the end of it, you should feel very, very good in your own skin. And then after that, I'm going to make sure that I put on some really nice, comfortable clothes and get into the other physical self-care stuff. I've actually decided that doing home projects tomorrow would probably make more sense because Vogel is going to be home and we also have to tidy up because we're going to have company. So 2 birds, 1 stone in that, which means today all I need to focus on are my work things and my personal self-care, which we have notably already started. But for the next step, we are back at the desk. This is where the benefits of having written a list on Monday really came into play. I'd already done the groundwork of knowing what I wanted to include in the reset process, so I just had to tick items off the list. So the first one we've done is the everything shower, so I can cross that off. The next up on the list is booking days for physical self-care. So this would be like, which days in particular do I want to do my everything showers? Which days in particular do I want to, I don't know, like go to the doctor or whatever else? Anything related to taking care of myself physically. Outside of exercise, because in theory that's supposed to be daily, but that's like a whole other project. We also have a couple of other things that I can work on here though, but time to get started. When it comes to my physical self-care, I'm not just thinking about kind of like health and fitness in the more typical like exercise, nutrition sense, but I'm also thinking about those things that we do for ourselves to make us feel good about ourselves. So this is stuff like hair care and nail care, things that I kind of think of as physical appearance maintenance. And we're not doing this in a shallow kind of way, because there is certainly something to be said about feeling good in your skin and how that boosts your mood and helps you show up better. My doctor's appointment has been booked now, so there is at least that. Mainly literally because I tried to order a repeat prescription and they're like, no, you have to come talk to a doctor. So I'm like, fine, okay, I'll do that instead. Booking the days for physical self-care, I've done the kind of like, everything shower days, but I'm trying to think of what other ones would actually be useful outside of kind of more like regular routines. I'm thinking about like specific themed days that I'd have to put on the calendar. Possibly it would be a good start to think about my physical self-care routines list first. So I'm gonna have a think about that. Also, just totally forgot to cross this one off because I've been prioritizing that all week and I will continue to do so. It's not so much that I usually get bad sleep, it's just that I do have that little bit of a sleep deficit and I want to kind of catch up on that so I don't have it going into next quarter. When it came to brainstorming those physical self-care related things, I did try and start this one by myself. I like to get my own ideas out before I consult other places for inspiration. But because I know I have some pretty big health goals for quarter two, I decided to enlist some assistance. This in particular came in the form of consulting with Vogel, my partner, and we went through and thought about what kind of items or things might we need to better support our physical self-care. It's always beneficial getting to talk with someone about this because you can kind of bounce ideas off of each other and they might give you ideas for how you can improve your situation and vice versa. We took this from the standpoint of considering each of the different areas of physical self-care, so nutrition, hydration, exercise, sleep, and thinking about for each of those areas, is there anything that we could get or a routine that we could develop to better support us in taking care of ourselves? In going through each area, we jotted down all of our ideas onto paper, and this ended up kind of being a list of things that we could purchase for the house or to use or whatever else, and also resources that we could try and find or routines that we could develop. Feeling very positive about the list that we've made. Now I just need to transfer this somewhere more permanent. But it's effectively a mix of things that we want to like do or resources we want to find or things we want to buy. It's like, I'm calling it a shopping list. It's not just for shopping though. For my work-related tasks, really it's just about scheduling. So when are my work days going to be? When are my releases coming out for like all of the things? And when are my days off going to be? A lot of this is going to be done on the overview here, especially in terms of those work days. But I also went and filled in my content releases on my content calendar, but that was done as part of like my quarter two setup. So these ones are at least in already. Part of this also included messaging my Bujo Buddies Book Club co-leaders to organize a readathon for May. So if you consider yourself a reader, or if you kind of want to get more into reading, then stay tuned for that. But I also wanted to go and add an indication of when my content releases for video format content in particular were coming out on my overview. In this one, I don't want to write out every single video title, I just wanted a small dot to indicate that a video was coming out, mainly so that I can keep that in mind when I'm planning my other work-related things. Content planning also includes anything I'm posting on Instagram, so I needed to go and write a list of all of the pictures that I want to take for that. Although Instagram isn't really a big focus for me, I do like posting over there and I think it's valuable having the still images as a resource. So planning out the things that I need to photograph and then get scheduled for Instagram is kind of important for that. Mainly what I've done though is go and add some specifics in like analytics reviews and any kind of content building day like membership content stuff. And then outside of that, all of these darker orange dots or like kind of peachy tone, those are video releases. Whether they be like live stream videos, which I know I've got a live in here already, but I just wanted it for completion. Or it could be like the podcast episode or a regular release or the exclusive content for, team with a capital T. Along with that, I've also started populating my cycle 1 for second quarter stuff. So video releases, membership releases, other stuff like text posts. And I also have my photos list that I can start working on soon. Another successful resetting day. Tomorrow we will focus on the house. But for now, it's time for sleep. Good night. The place that I pretty much always like to start for this physical space reset though is my office. I'm very good at getting materials out, not so good at putting them away, so having dedicated time as part of the reset to just get my space back in order is always a welcome thing. For the most part, it doesn't usually even take me all that long to put the things away, especially since I've revamped my office and now everything kind of has its own home. It's just actually making sure that I do it. While I do very much love the view from my office, I find that I don't often get to appreciate it because I film with my curtains closed, so I made sure to take the opportunity to have the curtains open while I did this work. While I'm going through this office tidy up, I'm making sure to do future me some favors, like cutting up this PET tape and storing it in a way where next time I go to use it, it's going to be a lot easier. Rather than having to cut those individual pieces out later, I'm doing it now while I still have the materials out for it. So the plan was to do the house reset today because we had company coming over. Turns out company is no longer coming over, but we're still going to do the house reset because they might come over tomorrow. We'll see what happens. It's okay if reset week gets a little jumbled, and it's okay if you don't do everything in order. In terms of the house reset though, it's very much just about kind of a general tidy. We're not kind of getting anything out of the cupboards and like doing a deep clean or anything. It's really just trying to make sure that things are presentable and feel nice and kind of get us back to like a base case, like clean slate type feeling. So that'd be like getting stuff off the floor when it's not supposed to be there, whether that be my stuff or Vogel stuff. Also removing the rubbish from my office too, because that shouldn't be there. It could be kind of small things like the fact that both of us don't seem to be able to put our shoes back onto the shoe rack, despite the fact that it's all of about 30 centimeters away. Or the fact that my kitchen is in like a bit of a state, and there are definitely things over here that need to be put away. Plus the corner coffee table is distinctly not in the corner. A lot of the time our living room kind of just looks like a dark little hole, which is fine because, you know, I don't want screen glare when I'm trying to play my games, but I feel like there must be a better way. I also feel like I need to find a better space for this baby bouncer because it only gets used once a week maximum. And that's maximum because I do not have a baby. My best friend has a baby. Of course, my bathrooms need to clean, and that is a constant cause of pain, so something to be done. Should probably vacuum the stairs. My bedroom's doing a pretty okay job, but laundry is still a struggle. And I kid you not, I bought these new clothes at Christmas time and they are still sitting there with their tags on, so something needs to be done about you. And also getting rid of all of this stuff. It doesn't belong in my house. It was from our reset at the end of last year, and all of this kind of needs to be like sold or taken care of. For the most part, it's just a series of little things, but then also possibly some bigger kind of life areas that I need to consider a little further. The first thing I need to take care of though is my laundry. Of course, laundry is an every week task, not just a once a quarter task, otherwise I would certainly run out of clean clothes, which is not the business, but it felt sensible to lump it in with my home environment reset in general. The nice part about laundry is that it's kind of set and forget until you have to put things away, which is always a problem unto itself. But after this, it was time to grab Vogel and start to actually get things sorted. We decided to tackle our physical space reset room by room, so starting in the bedroom, just going through, getting rid of any of the rubbish, putting things away where they're supposed to be. This also meant putting my fan away because now as we're moving from summer into winter, I'm not really gonna need it quite as much. Literally the day after putting the fan away, the weather got really cold, so I'm glad that I decided to do it then. We also considered any of the aspects of our bedroom that we might want to tweak or change, not so much in terms of doing like a full bedroom revamp or anything, but more so just little things that we could do to make it a little bit more of a comfortable space to be in. So one of the issues we find with our, bedroom floor area is that Vogel has a tendency to just dump his clothes on the floor. So at some stage, I'd like to redo our bedroom, maybe put like a chair in the corner he can dump on the chair. I don't care if it's on the chair. If it's on the floor, that's a problem. But one of the problems we do have is this washing basket, which also just kicks around on the floor. So we were thinking maybe putting it in the walk-in robe on the wall, like we could get a hook for it and hook it up there. In theory, Vogel has a hook, so hopefully we have one and we can actually try this out, because I think it would just be nice to have that out of the way. A few final bits and pieces in the bedroom, and then we could move on to the next room, which in particular was the spare bedroom. Of these ones, we have now relisted the light, the speakers, the book, the plushie, and the nano brick online. So it's just sorting out the other stuff. The quilt isn't actually to go, it was just sitting in the corner. Oh, and we relisted those cufflinks. Very much been one of those out of sight, out of mind kind of things, because we've been keeping the door to this room closed because the window has been bothering me because the sealant on it wasn't good. It's like double glazed. And so when we had somebody come to wash the house, water got in amongst it and now it's all steamed up and it pisses me off. So I keep the door closed so I can't see it. That's how we should deal with all of our problems. box for quite a while, like since I got my Kenwood food processor, which I don't think we were even in this house. It would have been the house before this house. Yes. Anyway, we really only use it as kind of like a makeshift coffee table when we have a lot of people over. For instance, why it's sitting here, because we moved all of the chairs from around the table and put them all over in that general region, and we needed something to put snacks on. I don't think that we should keep it for that reason, because we could just get something better. And I feel like it will incentivize us to get something if it is no longer here. So the box is going bye-bye. I've actually ended up posting the box on our community group, so hopefully somebody can take it away. It's a good quality box. If you have trouble giving away good quality boxes, let me know in the comments, because like, it's a really good box. The next general reset area though was taking that list from before and turning it into a shopping list. Well, we have our list, now we just need to go and get all of the things. This one could almost be a full day affair because you have to like run around different places and get stuff. I am hoping it only takes half a day, but let's go get some stuff. One of the things that we want to get is a new freezer for the garage, just so that we can like put things in freezer stock. I think that'd be a good idea. I'm grabbing myself some cables because we don't have ones that are long enough. Vogel's checking out another product we might want to buy. My list is getting increasingly scrunched up. We're making good progress on this, so on to the next store. Well, the shopping was a success. We still have a few bits and pieces to get because we just couldn't really find what we were looking for today, but that's going to be a future me problem because we have other areas to reset, because that's pretty much the home reset mostly done. Maybe a couple of bits and pieces to tidy up around the space, but I'm not really too fussed about that right now. The next main area to reset though were my goals. So this includes taking that checklist that I made in the physical health section and turning this into more of an action plan. But before that, really it's going through and considering how did quarter one actually go? This is thinking about which goals I worked on, what kind of wins or milestones I hit, what challenges I faced and what my responses to those challenges were. I find that reflection is really important for making sure that I move forward with intention, so I always want to do that before I actually get in and set out my goals for the quarter ahead. As mentioned, one of my main goals for quarter two is going to be related to physical health, and the other one will be working on my goals course, which is taking longer to work on than initially anticipated, and there's probably some perfectionism that goes into that, but I am eager to get on and get that one released. Once my goal reset was done though, then it was about getting into my everyday journal and making sure that cycle 1 for quarter 2 is set up in full. Some of these pages got touched throughout the process of doing other reset stages, but I wanted to make sure that all of these pages were as populated as they needed to be so that I can hit the ground running come the start of quarter 2. While this is the last main stage for this reset week, I think in future ones I'll probably do some stuff related to digital resetting, more in the space of mental unwinding, and I'll probably put more of an emphasis on the pre-planning before reset week actually starts. If you want to see more of that reset content though, do make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss out on future videos. Yep, of course you are messy again. It's fine, it's all good. We will just tidy you up again. I do have a top on. Are you enjoying doing our house reset?
No, Jess has turned this into a big chore because we've got to film everything.
Oh, come here. You don't hate it that much.
It's fine, but Jess said I could play my game if we did this and then put all these steps in the way.
You fucked up my hair. He's not actually that salty about it. He'll be fine. But you want the hat like that? Because you can just put the hat the regular way. Because I know that's how you usually do it. There you go. You look happy.
I saw what you were talking about, so I know that was sarcasm.
A very productive week though, and I'm feeling very cool, calm, collected, ready to tackle the quarter ahead. If you wanted to see more of this kind of reset content, getting stuff done with me, then this playlist is the next one to check out. That has all of my reset videos, whether they be like weekly, monthly, yearly reset. So click or tap on that one and I'll see you over there.